Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, you nerd. Hey, it's Mike from 424recording.com, and I'm back from the void, back from the break, and here to talk about what I've been experiencing lately. I don't know what I'm going to name this one, but I thought maybe On Feeling Lost would be a good title. Kind of harkens back to my On Lives days with my buddy Dan, who was on the podcast a few episodes ago. We had made a print journal about different essays on different aspects of life. And basically, I took off the past couple weeks. I wasn't doing anything social media wise. Wasn't doing anything with YouTube. Wasn't doing anything with Instagram. Turned off all notifications. Pretty much had my phone off. And I don't know. Coming back, it's been great. It's been great to see everybody's emails and comments and things. But it's weird. Like when I took the break, I thought I was in a really good spot creatively. I've been doing a lot with the channel. Been doing some videos each week, a lot of videos, trying to do 5 videos a week. Jay and I are doing the stream, which is always fun. Doing some just videos, Trash or Fantastic, some other stuff. And I don't know, man. Just lately, since I've been back, it's been it's been a struggle to get motivated and do things. I don't know if it's depression setting in. I don't know if it's just the winter. I don't know if it's having taken a break and kind of lost my momentum as a person, as an individual, as what I was doing. Because I felt like I had this laser pinpoint focus on where I was going, what I wanted, and where I was headed. And since then, since taking the break, it's kind of had an opposite effect on me of, I still feel inspired. I still feel like I want to do stuff, but I don't know. It's a very odd. I'm in a very weird place right now. I don't know. I'm sure I'll get back to it at some point and get back to things and get back in the groove, the Emperor's New Groove. But I don't know. Anyway, the break was great. I was feeling, I don't know, I'm just glad to take a step back. I think it is an important thing to do. But I think for me, I think another important thing to figure out is the process by which you create and what works best for you as a creator, as an artist, as a human. And I think what I've been realizing for myself is just that one of the things that works the best for me is constantly creating, because I tend to just think about things too much, and I like when I'm constantly making things. I guess this is the dichotomy or the thing about having taken the break. When I'm constantly working on things, I feel like I'm kind of tricking myself or like having my brain hum along at like a certain frequency of creation, and it doesn't allow me to let the bad thoughts come in, let the bad men come in, the men in black or whatever. Yeah, it's just a way of, and I'm sure that people have, anyone listening to this has similar ways of dealing with your thought patterns and things. But for me, it's like it keeps me distracted, I guess. I just that's something I realized about taking the break, is that a lot of the things that I do is just a distraction from the inherent loneliness, the inherent boredom of day-to-day daily existence, and of not really understanding the universe and your place in it. I guess ennui, existential thoughts, like that kind of shit. I don't know. And I think that's a big reason why I turned to the arts and I turned to creating things, because I think there's two main forces in the universe these days, and they're not conservative liberal. They're destructive and creation and constructive, and depends where you fall on that spectrum. And I think clearly one of those is better than the other to be. And I actually ripped some of that from a quote I heard in this book I read. So one of the things I've been doing since on my break was reading some books. I actually read the Steve Jobs bio by Walter Isaacson. That's the book rapper. And that was one of his quotes about creativity and destructive and the forces in the universe. And clearly I think one of those is better than the other. And I think that's kind of sums up how I feel about just being a creator and wanting to make things. I think... and it just works on a lot of different levels in terms of even people who hate on the things that you do, because I think this destroying things is inherently a negative aspect of I don't know, living. And I think to be creating things and changing things and pushing the human race forward, not that videos about 4-tracks is really doing that. Obviously I'm getting a little bit heady here, but I don't know, it's just something that hit me, something I was thinking about. But I don't know. I don't know if that constantly means we always need to be creating things, or I always need to be creating things. But I think it's a good way of kind of sorting out the universe and making sense of your world and the things around you. Yeah, I got some shit going on outside today, but fuck it, we're gonna just keep rolling. Just another classic thing to deal with here on the 424 Recording Podcast. maybe someday I'll have a studio or a space where it's quiet, but and I'll have a tuned room. Because one thing that's really been fucking me up is just like wanting to push things forward and make things even better than they are. And I think that's something that the break really taught me, was that I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think could be improved. And when I was in this like laser pinpoint focus mode of just putting shit out all the time and getting stuff done, I didn't really have a chance to take a step back and make things better, because obviously you don't have as much time to do that. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Just feeling fucking lost lately. I don't really know why, but I don't know. Maybe that's just a part of the process, right? I mean, I'm sure. I know other points in my life I felt this way. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. It kind of sucks. I think it's kind of good, but I don't know. I guess that was the thing too. One of my big quotes, one of my big realizations, epiphanies. I actually had two pretty big realization epiphanies during this point. Not that everything in life needs to be a realization or epiphany, but I guess that's just how I roll sometimes. But the first one was that, and I don't even think I'm that bad with the social media shit. Like I try not to pick up my phone too much. I try not to have too many notifications of things. I really don't check social media a lot. Maybe YouTube, I was checking it a lot, but mainly because I was putting things out and getting back to people and commenting and helping people with their recording issues. But I don't know. I don't think I'm as bad as most people, but the thing I realized, here it is, one of the big things I realized on the break was that how often I pick up my phone and how little it actually enhances my life. And I think, again, I think the phone is just this device to distract you from the inherent like boredom and loneliness of life, and it's fucking with people. I think I think it's really fucking with our brains, because I don't know. I notice personally, like certain things, I get really frustrated if I can't execute them within a few minutes, and I almost just like give up on it, because I'm like, it doesn't happen quick enough. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't want to even bother with it. And I think that's really bad. Like I don't know. I never used to be like that. And it's just something, taking a step back, I kind of realized about phones and things like that. But yeah, how often I check social media and how little it enhances my life. I don't know. There's something about slowing down. I was thinking about rebranding the podcast. I was talking to Jason about this. Jason, what up, buddy? Thanks for that awesome mixtape, by the way. He sent me this dope ass mixtape. It's actually over there, Cherry Chapstick. Really good stuff. Oh man, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh well, it'll come back. Anyway, shit, that's really bad. I'm out of practice. What can I say? Okay, so I was talking about, Jason, so I was thinking about rebranding the podcast. I was just looking at this turning into like the analog life, or this analog life, kind of a play on This American Life, something like that. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Like I feel like the 424 recording thing's established, but this is the other problem I had over the break, is that there's a lot of things I want to do with the channel and creatively, and I just realized, like, I don't know if 424 recording even makes sense for what I want to do anymore. And I don't even know what it is I want to do anymore. So I don't know, man. I'm just fucked up right now. It's funny because I thought the break was going to be this positive force, and right now it doesn't really seem like that. I don't know though. Maybe I would have gotten really badly burnt out, or maybe this is the aspect of being really burnt out. I don't know. But yeah, so I've been just thinking about rebranding things and changing the podcast and changing some aspects of it, like 424 recording. I guess it ties in with the channel, but it doesn't really mean, I don't know. I guess I was thinking the analog life mainly because obviously it's a play on using like a 4-track and recording, but also in terms of having taken the break and really thinking about just like slowing down, because those are things I want to explore now too, is just the power of like living in the real world. Because I don't know, the digital world, that shit ain't real, man, but it's becoming such a big part of everybody's lives that I don't even know if it's a force that can be stopped at this point. But the fact that like just going for walks and just ditching my phone, multitasking is something I'm really going to stop doing. Like going for a walk and like listening to something, music, a podcast, like I think that's a really destructive form of going about in the world. And I guess that sounds kind of harsh. I'm going to explain what I mean with that. Just like I used to feel like I didn't want to go for a walk unless there's something I could do at the same time. And during the break, what I realized was like, yo, going for a walk is fucking awesome without any kind of other distractions, meaning your phone. And just being able to walk down the street with your own thoughts and think about what you want to think about and get ideas. Like when you constantly have this other thing humming in the background, again, there's a common theme right there. I don't know. There's a certain element of it that is, it's almost it's almost as a way of like, um, I guess, distracting you. I can't think of the right word. It's almost like an sedative in a way. Like I feel like listening to it, I don't know, for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but let me see where we're at. I feel like there's a sedative element to it. Like you're kind of, I don't know if you're living to your full potential if you're walking around like always like distracting yourself from your reality. And I don't know what reality is anymore. It's like, I'm not saying that like, I'm wondering like how much of this seems like I'm just losing my fucking mind, which is probably likely to, but I don't know. Let me try to back it up and explain what I'm saying here. I think there's a really awesome reality that we all exist in, and unfortunately with like social media and computers and things, like very powerful, amazing tools that connect people and have a purpose, but at the same time, I think that they are taking away from our lives as like actual people in like an actual world. And I think it's starting to blur the line of what the actual world consists of and what the digital world consists of. And it's like one of those worlds like doesn't technically exist, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you can hold back the tide of this, but I don't know. There's shit fucking beeping, backing up right now. I'm so pissed off right now, man. Oh God. Oh well. It is what it is, man. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about. Anyway, I think there's something to be said about doing things at one at a time. Like one thing I got back into that I used to do a lot more of was meditate, and that's really been helping me like regain my focus and come back to the center, which I think is also important. And I think like walking is a form of meditation in itself, and when you go about like having this like fucked up idea of like, oh well, I need to make the most out of my time, so I need to like listen to a podcast or listen to a YouTube video or listen to something or listen to a book while I'm walking. Like just enjoy the walk, man. Like just enjoy the thoughts, enjoy, I don't know, the ideas that come about, enjoy just the meditative aspect of walking. Like think about just walking, think about just being in the moment. I don't know. I think all that stuff is really important. And I think there's certain aspects of social media and multitasking that are just destructive and not really helpful, at least for me. And that's something I'm going to really try to do. Is I'm really going to try to use my phone now more as a phone, meaning I'm just going to leave it like a landline in my kitchen. If people fucking call me, okay. If I get a text, okay. But I'm not going to be using it for anything beyond that. Obviously, I got to use it for Lyft and doing jobs, and certain aspects of it are important, but I don't know, man. Like I said, it's crazy how often we look at this shit and how little it actually enhances our lives. So that's the big thing I kind of realized on the break. And maybe that's why I feel a little lost, because I guess in a way I'm adding to that. But I want to make cool shit that entertain people. Like that's a big part of what I want to do, and like I just have a genuine desire to do that because I think it's fun. So I don't know, but I just realized that maybe that's why I kind of feel that way. It's like adding to the noise and adding to the digital reality. But for a long time I kind of, I don't know, man. I just never felt that in tune with it, and maybe it's just because I'm older. But I've kind of come along back to it with doing YouTube, and I don't know. There's just some days I could just walk away from the whole thing, But I don't know. As long as you guys keep showing up and want to keep hearing me ramble about this shit, I'll keep coming through. But yeah, so this is a sick book, by the way. The Steve Jobs, definitely one of the best books I've read in a long time. Just amazing person. I definitely truly believe they mentioned in the book he was basically like the Einstein, Gandhi of this era, and I think that's true. I think there's so many things that we do today that are all come back to Steve Jobs. It's crazy stuff. Another book I've been reading, which is really dope, is this book called Creativity Inc. It's called Overcoming the Unseen Forces That Stand in the Way of True Inspiration. It's by Ed Catmull. He's the president of Pixar and Disney. Um, it's a great book so far. And the thing I realized about it too is like all these guys that like made all these ventures back in like the computer era. This is the other epiphany I kind of had about my life and about music. Um, it's just funny because all these guys kind of knew each other. They were all kind of in the same neighborhood, Silicon Valley, Palo Alto, and in terms of the tech stuff. And it's just funny because they're like, oh yeah, my program, like this other guy went on to do this, and this guy was like head of this, and it's just amazing how many of these big, like powerful, well, I guess they're not technically powerful, but just like, you know, well, they are powerful. Somebody like Steve Jobs has a lot of influence, or had a lot of influence, and he made, one of the most successful companies in the world ever. You're gonna have some influence over the computers and things like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is it just amazes me how all these guys were kind of in the same community. And I think it goes back to like the idea of like scenius, meaning having like a scene of people that are all working toward like a common goal or common ideas and like free flow of ideas within that. Because we always think of people, you always think of like Steve Jobs as a singular entity, but there's a lot of people in that book that he owes a lot to that helped him get to where he is. Basically without Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs wouldn't be anything. But the same goes true for Steve Wozniak. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship that they both sort of needed each other because they were both very different people with different ideas and personalities. But I don't know. Read the book. It's fucking sick. But that was a big way I spent a lot of my time. What was I going to say about that? There's a point I was going to make about. Oh yeah, that's what I realized. Like, just the pot. Like, I mean, Steve Jobs seems like kind of a dick, but I mean, at the same time, there was a lot of positive things that he did, and a lot of people he met, and a lot of positive forces, those forces of creation that I was talking about before. It just blows my mind how many of those people were in the same room, same places, same circles, and they really, dictated the way the world has gone since the 80s when personal computing, started happening. Um, and Ed talks about in this book, the Creativity Inc. book about Pixar, that being in a room with people who are smarter than you and figuring out how to be in rooms with those kind of people. That's kind of a cliche thing now, but I kind of just was starting to look at this in the lens of music, because like there are certain aspects of music for me that were just fun and why I did them. And then when I think about the people that I know who are successful in terms of the music industry, I don't want to have anything to do with them. Uh, it's like, you want to find a room and learn from people, but what I kind of realize is like, I don't really give a fuck about the things that like music industry people give a fuck about, I guess. So it kind of makes me feel, maybe that's why I feel lost too, because I kind of realize like, I've always had these thoughts about doing something with music and then thinking about what I know about music and the people that are in the next level. I don't really like any of those people. And maybe those people don't like me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole. I don't know. But it was just a strange epiphany I had. I was like, because just that in that book, just how positive people were and working together and getting things done. And I don't know. I just think about like a lot of people I've met in music circles, who were really cool, and then a lot of people who weren't, and then people that have achieved some other level of success with it or kind of gone up to the next rung of it. Uh, I don't really want to have anything to do with those people. It's kind of funny. I mean, YouTube is different, I think, because a lot of the YouTube guys I look up to, like Steven from Noir at Blanc V, Bo from Bo Beats, Cuckoo. I don't know, like all those people seem pretty cool. Simon is really cool. Jeremy from Red Beans Recording, like all those guys, I feel like are doing some really cool shit, and they seem like really positive people, and I like the vibe that they put off, and I don't know, they're all people that I mean, I guess I don't see them as my peers because they've been doing it a bit longer, but as people to be in the same room with and learn from, those seem like the kind of people I want to be around, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the exact right spot I should be, and I just got to keep going. I don't know. I apologize. I know this is like kind of just me spieling shit for 20 minutes, but I think I don't know. Maybe you get something out of it. Um, Maybe I just got to just stop saying that, so you can just enjoy it if you enjoy it, and if you don't, you won't. You probably never heard this or never will listen to it, so it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, I feel really good. I feel better after having this talk. After talking about my feelings, putting them out there. I feel like a weight has been lifted. It's really weird. Like all of a sudden, I'm just feeling like I don't know, just really good. Um, yeah. The other thing I realized I gotta get better. I gotta work on my health, man. Like I don't know. I'm sure you've seen these videos, man. I've been fucking expanding outward a little bit too much. Been a little sedentary. I need to get back and something I realized I need to exercise more, and that's something I've been trying to do. So I don't know. But like I said, it goes back to that analog life, baby. You get caught in the digital world, the digital life. It seems like that's what's important. But just going out and exercising and working out and you know, just doing real stuff in the real world is very important too. And I think going forward, that's going to be the ultimate dichotomy. I don't know, that's not the word I was trying to say. I don't know. One thing I think is really important, I think going forward is going to change in the world. And obviously, future predictions are bullshit. Nobody can predict the future. But from what I see, I'm really bad at, I don't really understand trends. I'm not really good at predicting what's coming. But I think that humans I think things have been moving really fast for us lately. And I think they're finally starting to show some signs of slowing down. And I think something we're going to have to reckon with is determining what aspects of the digital world are ones that we actually want in our lives and which ones are just destructive forces. Because I think there's a lot of like really creative, cool stuff going on, um, which I think is really awesome. And I think it's never been a better time to be an artist and somebody, wanting to get your message out there, starting a business, or connecting with people who share your interests. I mean, look at this channel. Like that's what this is all about. The community, the task fan, the people that are a part of this and listen to this. Like I would have never found you guys and found some really new, awesome, amazing friends and people helping push me forward and support the things I'm doing. Like that's fucking amazing. I wouldn't be able to do it without the internet, right? But at the same time, I think there are also things like I was saying, the amount of times we check social media and it actually like it does nothing to enhance your life like most of the time. And I think that I don't know. I don't like the mental habits that are developing that I've noticed developing for myself, and they're things I want to change. I think the way to change them is to unplug more often, more frequently, and don't use the device as like a distraction from boredom, a distraction from ennui, a distraction from existential questions about that you have about the universe. Like I think it's more important to sit with those and sit with that discomfort than you know get this hit of dopamine or whatever the response is that you get from phones and that stuff. Yeah, I think that I think questioning and figuring things out is a more noble goal than to just you know put the blinders on and get your social media salt lick or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm like pontificating or like you know what? Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But that's where I'm at. That's what I'm going to start doing. Yeah. So what else? There was something else I was just going to say, and I just forgot. Maybe we'll save it for next week. I don't know. Might have some interviews next week. I don't know. I wanted to like change some things up on the podcast, or not on the podcast, but just change up where I shoot it. So I might be experimenting with some new areas. That was the thing, though. Like I realized I really wanted to take a step back and look at things, and see what I could change, see what I could make better, and I don't know. I don't know if I really had enough time. I don't really know if I had enough desire to do that. I just kind of do what's been working and going from there. So I don't know. So many questions, so many things I could do. Uh, I guess I need to just focus. That's something Steve Jobs talks about. Maybe I'll leave you with this. There's so many things that you can do, but you got to figure out the top 5 things that are really what you want to do and want to focus on. So maybe that's where I'm at. It's funny. I think I was casting this huge storm and making this huge whirlwind of content and things, and it was awesome. It was really fun inside of it. And then taking a step back from it, I kind of said, well, wait a second, you know, what am I really doing? What do I really want? You know, maybe my pivot, maybe my focus shifted and I need to pivot. I don't know. Pivot. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. You know, I was hoping to come back like some hero from a journey from the void, and I gotta say that nothing has really changed for me. Well, no, that's not true because I just went on this whole rant about all these things that I want to change and do. I guess I don't know. I guess I did have some good epiphanies and realizations on the break, on the blackout. I don't know. This is what I'm saying, man. I'm just fucking lost right now. So I don't know. I hope you find your way. Godspeed on your journey. And I know I'll get back in there. Maybe it's just a little bit of, I don't know. Lost, man. I think I've always just been lost. I think I always kind of will be, but who knows. All right, well, I guess we'll leave you with that. Focus on the things that are important to focus on. That the 5 things that are going to make a difference to you, because there's way too many things that won't make any kind of difference. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where I'm headed right now. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this isn't a video people look back in like a year and they were like, oh yeah, that's when he snapped. That's when he started losing it completely. And yeah, all right. Well, I don't know. The future, we'll see. We'll see what happens, folks. But I hope you have a great day. I hope you're glad that I'm back. I'm glad to be back. There's a part of me that's glad to be back. There's a part of me that needs to figure out what it means to be back. And yeah, I don't know. Read more. Go for more walks. Don't multitask. And make sure you do something you want to do today, all right?